What's up? We got one person on here. Let's wait a little bit before we get going. I hope everybody that shows up is ready to move on to the next step. You know, it being 4th of July weekend, we might not have very many people on here. There's 3. Who do we have? Who's here?
Brenda. Bree.
Oh, she made it this time. She missed last time. Awesome. Who else?
Moonbeam.
Borland Davis.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
And Moonbeam.
Mhm.
Hello, hello. We don't have Psycho's not here yet. I know he sent pictures. I saw a couple different people who posted on Facebook showing this part. So hopefully you guys are building along. You've caught up. I did last Sunday. I don't know, 4 or 5 more layers on this, and then I went ahead and that's shop towel again. I wrapped in shop towel again. Didn't have to, but it's pretty hard. So
Are you gonna be on Facebook
we're good to
Live
go.
also?
You know, maybe can I share this? I don't know if I can share this stream over to Facebook or not. Let me see. Here's a share. Oh, I can.
No, but I think that just shares.
May just share the link. I don't know if it'll play live over there or not.
Yeah, it just shares the link.
I want this to go to the group. There's my group right there. And post to Facebook. So I just shared it over to the group, but I don't have a big, I don't have any like real streaming software, which I probably need to get where I could do it in multiple places at once and all this other cool stuff. So that will come later. Who else we got? Rita, is that Rita? Carrie Cleveland? Is that a new? Is that someone new? I don't remember seeing that one before.
I'm not sure. Maybe they just never said hi.
Maybe so. And I can't even gonna be able to pronounce that. What's that other one down there? Lupton Luna. Hey, I know I botched that. I probably shouldn't even tried to read that. I tried this, but anyway, I gave it a try. What's up, puppy? So who all is here that has been building along?
You can just say
Lupin?
like Harry Potter. Yeah, she's told us, or he, she, whoever.
Oh, right on.
Has told us that before. I have watched, just never commented.
Cool. So who's actually? So Berlin, is that right, Davis? They're creating along, which is awesome. So hopefully you got your stuff tonight. We're gonna need cotton balls, shave paste, marker, knife, and I'm going to. Originally last week I was thinking about doing this different, and I'm going to back off of that and make it easier to follow. I was originally going to have us draw faces on here now and then do all the pumpkin ribbing with the cotton and try to do all this build up with the cotton as well. But that can be difficult if you've never worked with cotton before. So tonight we're going to basically create this and make this look like a pumpkin. We're going to give it all of its ridges using cotton and all that stuff. So by the end of the night, this is just basically going to look like a pumpkin all the way around. And then next Saturday, we'll do facial features and things like that. So by playing with these ridges and stuff on this pumpkin tonight, that'll give you a feel for how the cotton works and how you kind of build it up and leave certain things, and it will make it easier for you whenever we go to do the face and all that stuff.
So I was without internet for over a week, so I'll have to catch up.
Who was that? Bree?
Lupin?
Lupin? Dang, we had some internet problems a while back too.
And then Bree's packing stuff up to move soon, so not building yet. And Rita says, "Yeah, hello, I love your creations." And Axman is finally on.
What's up, Psycho? I know you've been building along. I seen your post today. So, all right, we got about 13 of us on here, and that's about the usual.
Usually, yeah, that's about it.
So let's get this thing started. Just like I said a minute ago, tonight we're going to basically just make this look like a pumpkin. No face or anything yet. We're going to make it look like a pumpkin. That'll give you guys time to play with this cotton, see how it reacts and all that good stuff. And then next week we will do faces and you can go as crazy with the faces you want, or as not crazy as you want. It's all going to be up to you. Anyway, first thing, hopefully you guys got cotton balls. I mean, I don't have anything prepped. I just figured I'd prep it right along with you. I'm going to adjust this camera down a bit here. I think I can lift that up like that. Yes. So good. We're going to unroll a hole. This is super exciting. This is super exciting content to watch.
We've never been able to find that one stuff.
And maybe there's a thing, and I need to, maybe somewhere in Joplin, there's a hair salon somewhere.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Where you buy hair, but you can. Those of you that know anything about hairstylists or whatever, apparently you can buy cotton.
It's what they use for whenever they're doing perms.
Yeah, there's already cotton strips that are already out and stuff, and so that would make this whole process way, way easier. Anyway, tonight we're going to start out, take your cotton ball, you're going to find a spot like this, and we're just going to roll. We're going to roll them out into strips like this, and that's what we're going to be using. So anyway, this is exciting content, but I didn't pre-do any of this because I didn't know, for those people who were following along, whether or not I'm not worried about seeing that, whether or not you guys already had your stuff prepped, and if you didn't have it prepped, then I would just prep my stuff right along with you, and we could all just enjoy this glorious time of unrolling cotton balls
trade creations
together.
And
hello.
Davis, have you seen the video using Portland cement in your mixture to help weatherproof the paper mache item?
So I've seen some different deals on Portland cement, and I've seen some different ideas on like a cement type clay, and I'm totally going to play with that. I've already kind of come up with an idea to make a cement style clay a little bit different than the ones I've seen.
Hello from Germany.
Well, hello. And then I've debated kind of using Portland cement on paste or whatever just to play with it, see how it works. Because out of the one thing, the wood clay recipe that I have, I can tell you guys that wood clay recipe, that stuff, once that stuff dries, it is unreal. I'm convinced that because I made a pumpkin using that wood clay, and I'm convinced that thing will last forever. It's never got soft out in the rain or anything like that. It's absolutely incredible. But yes, I'm going to give some of those a try. I want to give those things a try to play with that and kind of test that things out and show you guys some different stuff. But I always try to stay with Mache too for people who may not have enough money to buy Portland cement or go out and do stuff, but they do have enough money to maybe get flour and water and do that type of thing, and if they can get something to seal it with. But you can do this stuff on the cheap. You can seal it. You can let it go outside. All that stuff. Because when I first started researching paper mache and playing with this, everything that I saw everywhere, this was years ago. Everybody said you couldn't make stuff out of mache and put it outside; the weather would destroy it. And I'm just one of those guys that's kind of bound and determined that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. And so I kind of did start playing around with it. That's why I started the channel, to try to show people, yeah, you can do this stuff. Yes, you can weatherproof it, and yes, it can go outside, despite what everybody else says.
All right. So, when watching the first, you mentioned using an airbrush. So I was wondering if you could put the paper mache paste in a spray bottle to possibly make application easier, but would have to rinse nozzle. And then one more. I was working on those paper mache clay tombstones. Just about have the one done. I'll post more pictures on FB. That was Halloween.
Oh, that's
Hollow.
that is Wayne Hutchins.
Okay.
Right on. Okay, cool. Now, see, it's going to take me a little bit to get names between Facebook and this
And his
put together,
tombstones will be
guys.
able to go outside.
Yeah, your tombstones look awesome, dude. I really like it. We put a lot of detail on them.
Yeah, Wayne, he said. So, yeah, answer her question now.
Okay, and
Creepy.
Bree, when watching the first, okay, so my idea was with the airbrush was like from the Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight sells these cheap things, and if you have a strong enough, if you have enough air pressure behind it, you can pretty much move anything. I think the bottle thing would kind of work, but here's the deal: even when I've used squirt bottles and like latex paint and stuff to do like tea staining and stuff on tombstones and junk outside, even the latex down with water and stuff, that those things seem to clog up really quick. And I would imagine mache paste, depending on what you would probably clog up like super fast.
K-Bond says, what's in the glass with ice? Want to make sure I'm drinking the correct mixture.
This is rum and Coke, or rum and Dr. Pepper.
Obviously tastes good.
And it tastes good. Thus, that's how I came up with the. There is a video on my YouTube channel called the Rum Reaper that I used an old empty rum bottle to make a little tabletop reaper out of, and that's a quick, fast little fun deal. See, sometimes they tear apart and you just kind of lose them.
Bree said, gotcha, thanks. It's actually Brenda, right?
I believe her
Oh, yeah.
name
But
was
we've
Brenda, but we're calling her Bree because she's got. It's so funny, Brenda, because my daughter's name is Brianne,
We call her Bree.
and we call her Bree, or we call her Bree, for a nickname.
And she said yes, so yeah. See, I remembered.
Yes, you do.
I got your back, sister.
Yes, you do. And she's a patron as well.
Awesome.
So for those of you guys that are building along, we're going to undo a whole lot of these cotton balls. It's better to have too many than not have enough, because once we get going, and if your hands get tacky, and here's the thing, oh my gosh, you get mache paste on your hands, which we're going to, and you're messing with this cotton, it will stick to your fingers. It gets annoying. It takes some patience. That's all I'm going to say. Patience. It'll work.
I'm going to try red dye and rubbing alcohol to leather the stones.
Oh, right on.
I never thought about that. Like, not for clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That'll work.
I think it'll work too. When you were doing those tombstones, I know you did like a lot of clay, and you've got some different like ornate decorations that are on the front of them. Is that stuff that you just like sculpted using the paper clay, or did you like have something you stuck on there first and then just kind of clayed over the top of it? I'm just curious. Psycho, are you live? You're kind of quiet tonight.
He's probably doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was quiet last time too.
Probably like, gosh dang, I mean, sometimes it's frustrating getting a hold
He's
of
like, why are you calling me out? I know that's what he's thinking. We always call him out though, I guess. Pick on him a little.
Oh, I'm just used to at least seeing some questions in the chat.
He wasn't.
Nothing to do with
Yeah.
super chat crap.
I'm doing cotton balls. See, I
Yeah,
told
right
you.
on. Dude, I'm telling you, so that's the thing. And I need to go find I guess you go to places where hairdressers get supplies. That's what I've been told. And you can get
You
this.
go to like, I think there's like a Sally's or something that's open to the public. I'm not
Yeah,
positive.
you can get this stuff already unrolled.
I shaped with foil, then paper clay over the foil.
Right on. It looks good, dude. I really like those tombstones. I was really impressed with them. Look awesome.
I loved seeing everybody that posted pictures. At least we got to see that you guys were actually,
Yes. So
doing the hard work.
That's what was cool was seeing a few of you guys who posted the work in progress. Even though our works in progress aren't a whole lot right now,
It was still cool.
But it's cool to see that. It's cool to see you guys that are building along. It's kind of like when I do these YouTube videos, right? And I've got different pumpkin tutorials or different tutorials, and I'll see people post stuff on Facebook, and I can tell by what they're making that they followed along one of my tutorials, which is always kind of cool. But it's neat to see like this, where we're kind of doing it together, and then we're building at the same time and see what you get. It's different than just seeing someone that followed a tutorial that I already have up on the channel. If that makes any sense to any of you at all. If you guys even care.
K-Bone said, thank you. And I want to thank you and everyone on the page for all the support and kind words. That's what we're here for, right?
Mm-hmm. The group's a pretty good group. A lot of it stand out, and some of it's my fault because a couple of years ago, the Facebook group was really jamming, and then I kind of so much stuff happening with life, and I kind of fell off of the social media for a while, and I wasn't there checking and helping people out, and I think we lost some folks that were normally there sharing their work and ideas. And that's totally my fault.
There's still a lot of good people on there.
Yeah, there is.
Sometimes I have to kick people off because they're just soliciting, but
yes. Yeah, well, you guys will see that a lot too. There's people that are on there that just solicit to buy stuff or whatever. And once we start seeing those kind of posts over and over again, then we'll thin that stuff out.
It's easier though if somebody actually does complain and say, hey, this isn't supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see it and I've heard of it, but there's just so much. You can't see it all sometimes.
And I'm sweating as if it's hot down here. It's 100,000 degrees outside, but it's not hot down here. Maybe my glasses are making me sweat. That's it. See, yeah. I already feel fresher now that I pulled them off my face.
You're a mess. How much are you gonna do?
A
lot.
A lot, because this is a bigger pumpkin. I just preached the whole, hey, you're better off doing more than you think you need.
But you can always save it for later.
Yes.
It's been hot in California too. 109 right now. Halloween, Aloe Tree Creation said. Yeah, we actually, Axman, we got to talk to our son the other day, and he's, in California. When he sounded horrible, like his allergies, his voice was all scratchy and stuff, and I thought it would be better there because here it's really humid, and I don't know. He sounds like he's getting his butt kicked, so I feel like it must be pretty crazy in California too.
Well, we're getting ready to get slammed this next week. We're going to have 101, 103-degree weather. And that's for here, that's hot.
Well, 109 sounds pretty hot.
109 is hot.
Where are you from? You know where he's from? Who was it?
Wayne?
Wayne? Yeah.
I'm not sure where Wayne's from.
It gets humid here, but not like Florida. It hit 103 on Monday.
It's crazy, stupid humid here in Kansas.
No, he was in the desert.
The air is just thick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on. The Mojave.
Cold and overcast in Northern California. Oh, that's weird. That's strange how it's like different in different places.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the way it is everywhere, but
Showing 90 and feeling like 99 in Alabama.
I feel like it would be muggy.
We're getting weather reports from all over the country
love it.
right now, live.
I feel like it'd be really muggy in Alabama too, but I don't know. Wait until August, then we get. Wow, really? What do you? Does it
It's
get
the
humid?
desert.
I wonder. No, I bet.
I wonder what the humidity's like.
That's what I'm wondering because the humidity here is so bad that I feel like I can't breathe sometimes.
Because I can, like, my brother lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico for a
And
while.
it was not humid.
And they didn't have humidity. So, like, we went down to visit, and it was like 101 or something like that. And I was out and about, and I'd take his motorcycle out for a ride, and I was wearing jeans
Yeah,
and a
weird.
long sleeve shirt, and just thought for sure I was going to be suffocating on the bike, especially at corners. And it wasn't, the heat was not the same as here. Like the heat here with the humidity is horrible.
I want to travel the world. I want to go see all these places.
Well, as soon as there's 100,000 patrons and we go travel the world and film making mache in all different parts of the world.
I'll drive while you make mache. That sounds
Go
like
travel the world and learn different techniques.
that would be kind of cool.
Just 89 in New York
NC.
or North Carolina.
Oh.
Oh, dude, thanks, bro.
I stepped outside and it was like signals over in my face. Oh, God.
That's funny.
Just joined. I missed. What are you using for the form on this pumpkin?
Okay, this form or what? Okay, so this we just did balloons, and we did 12-inch balloons to shape this, and we strip mache over the top of all that. I like doing balloons because it's smooth on the inside. We're going to see that tonight, and then we're going to create our pumpkin shaping using the cotton balls. To do that next week, we'll work on faces and stuff. It's just another technique. If you've done mache clay and stuff, claying a lot of times is faster. This is lighter. So depending on what you're doing, scarecrow jacks, things like that, if you need a light pumpkin, this is kind of the way to go. There's so many different ways to make pumpkins. And they all have their fun things, and they all have their not so fun things about them. I'm going to do, okay, I don't know. So I'm getting a pile here, and then I'm going to finish out doing these, and then we will get rolling, because we're going to change the shape of our pumpkin before we start putting these on, and we're going to go ahead and kind of add a little bit of a stem and stuff too real quick. We're not going to do any big extravagant crazy stem, just going to do a short little stubby thing off the top. I almost decided I almost thought about just making a little short stubby stem out of egg carton clay, and then I realized that I've got that stuff laying around. You guys probably don't, so we're going to make the stem out of the materials that I know everybody's got.
Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, post your stuff on Facebook. It's awesome. We love seeing it. Do you need any paper strips? Do you need any paper strips?
For tonight, yes, just a few, because we're going to change it, but it's not. It's yes and no. It's not detrimental if you don't have paper strips for tonight for the things we're going to do. This will cover it anyway. Um, but I am going to use a few strips tonight, doing a few things. The biggest bulk of all this is going to be cotton balls. Oh, and while we're talking about it, I think pretty sure in the list that I try to throw out on YouTube and I throw out on Facebook and everything else is a hot glue gun. So if you guys got a hot glue gun, like right now would be a great time to go ahead and plug that thing in while we're not doing anything, so it has time to heat up and get hot, because we're going to need it here in a minute. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to keep that away from the cotton. I'll put it over here for now. Well, hopefully everybody has a good, safe 4th of July weekend this weekend.
Can everybody shoot fireworks off though?
Not everybody can. No, there's places where it's legal.
Which is weird.
Here where we're at, it's not illegal to shoot off fireworks. So my dad made it a big deal when I was a kid, and I made it a big deal with my kids as they've been growing up. So we do a whole day of shooting things.
Instead of not doing anything, I'm still unrolling cotton balls.
See, this is all the stuff that you don't see in my tutorial videos. I might show you, hey, this is how you unroll the ball, and then 15 seconds later, there's a big pile of cotton balls. And I've sat here for 40,000 hours unrolling cotton.
Yes, this. Okay, thanks.
Yes, this. Okay, thanks.
He's the one.
Just joined.
Yeah, he's the one that's.
Okay. Right on. Awesome. All right.
Some fireworks are illegal here, but that doesn't stop anybody. Right? Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you guys can't really hear the AC running in the background too bad. I don't ever think about that. Probably good to have a door.
Wonder if you could pipe paper clay through a pastry bag to do ridges, or maybe liquid notes.
I guarantee you could pipe paper clay through a bag, and then you could use it to do all kinds of detailing with. By the time we're done here, and whenever I make any of my pumpkin ridging or my pumpkin, I'm always pretty wide, for just making the shape of a pumpkin. It's easy just to, well, when I do clay on a pumpkin anymore, I don't cut it open yet anymore. I leave it all done, and then I slap clay over the entire thing. Like, I'll cover the whole thing in clay, and then I just real quick run lines to it and soften the edges and create this pumpkin shape like just super fast. Yeah, claying is a lot faster way to create a pumpkin. Faux show, but I figured this would be a little bit better of a class to do because this cotton ball stuff's a little more challenging. I think everybody out there has seen pumpkins made out of paper mache clay and stuff over and over and over again. And I figured once we got to this point and really started doing this, this is where most of you would either have the most questions or get the most frustrated because it can be frustrating trying to manipulate this. And I figured that's where I could help out the best. Oh, come on, give it to me. There it is. Oh, that was like a double. What? That was almost like a double roll, and it had this itty bitty little thing. I love it. Ah, it's falling apart.
Wonder if you could use cotton quilt batting.
Cotton quilt batting.
I don't know. I don't know how thick it is.
I don't know for sure. I know that it's got to be cotton because I know some of that batting stuff is like some kind of like polyester junk or something like that, and that stuff repels the freaking paste. It doesn't soak it up. I tried all kinds of things with mache paste. Even dryer lint, and then dryer fabric sheets that have been run through the dryer and stuff. Just all kinds of junk. All right. Okay. That's going to be, this should be enough for this part. So just to show, you know what? I didn't count cotton balls, guys.
John Smith says hi.
Hello, John. This is. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
We're everywhere.
You're going to make them.
This is the pile of cotton, just in reference. And I'm going to stop here. I think it's going to be enough.
For 100% cotton quilt batting, double check the label, and then do we need a bowl of water and a towel? It's kind of your preference, right?
Yeah, kind of your preference. I don't have one with me right now. Normally, when I do this stuff, I always have one with me.
But this is the second time he hasn't.
All the time, and I haven't done it this time. If you have water with you and a towel, it's easier. You can just dip your hands in and rinse them off real quick and put them on a towel. It's a lot nicer to deal with stuff because you don't get so sticky.
John says, why are you making a pumpkin cotton ball? Shouldn't you be doing that during the Halloween season?
Yeah, it's always Halloween.
There's Halloween season? No, not in my house. It's always Halloween here.
If I waited until closer to Halloween to make my Halloween stuff, I would never be done in time. Ever be done in time. All right, so let's make sure. Let me know when you're done unrolling cotton balls, and then we'll move on to the next step. And then once you guys are done with that, we'll do this other stuff. I don't want to leave anybody behind. And that'll give me time to take a drink.
Fun time. I'm ready when you guys are.
Psycho's ready. Who else is going with this? Hi, Mike. Someone else was building with this.
Mm.
Yep, ready, ready. Okay, ready.
Making stuff all year long.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're ready. We've got, I'm going to move this down so you guys can kind of see. Here's our ball. However you guys want to do it. I'm calling this the top. It's a little narrower up here, a little fatter on the bottom. So this is going to be my bottom side. This is going to be my top side. Find anything. I cheat. I find things that are round so I can make a nice round circle. You can freehand it, whatever. Doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to make a.
Oh, you don't have to.
I'm going to make an opening on the inside and the bottom, and that we're just going to leave open. And then what we're going to wind up doing is taking and cutting a round piece off the top. We're going to invert that, flip that over so this kind of sinks in. I do that quite a bit on my different, and I like that. I like the way the ridges sink in.
We have somebody saying hi.
Jack Hall, hello, how are you? Kelly, I've been yard hunting for 2 years. Yep. I never stop building stuff is the honest to goodness truth. What's this? Okay.
Whatever you want to do, baby.
So, let's see if I can.
Those two.
Yes. Oh, I should have brought. I didn't bring down my bowl. Let's set this on there. Will you hand me that paste? I want to be sure I get this on like the center top side of it. And I guess we'll move that up. Here we go again. Shoom.
How big of a circle? Approximately. Is what I'm saying, approximately. I don't know.
So that depends on how big you've blown your pumpkin up and stuff. This circle here that I'm going to use, this is about 5 inches round. It'll be my bottom. It'll be easy enough for me to get my hand into, for me to paint on the inside or do anything else. You can go a little bit smaller than this. On the bottom side of your pumpkin, you always want a bigger hole because you'll be painting on the inside. And if you don't have a big enough hole to get your hand in, it becomes a real problem. The top side, that all depends. Because when I cut this down on the top side and invert this, I'm actually going to shorten the height of the pumpkin. So if you want to kind of keep your pumpkin up a little bit high, you can make a smaller one. Or you don't even have to do what I'm getting ready to do, where cut the top and invert it. You don't have to do that. I just prefer the way it looks. So that's what I do. Now I got lost again. Let's put this back on here. And man, that's almost, and see, this is on the verge of being too big for this pumpkin.
To do the bottom part of it,
but I don't think I might get my hand in there, but I'll go on the top. If it's too big, I'll just deal with it. What? That marker doesn't right. No juice in it.
You need a marker?
I got 2 right here.
Oh.
Hopefully out of these other 2, one of them works.
Well, I have a boatload over there, so.
Oh, it is slick.
Give me hope.
I think I got it. I think I just marked all over your bucket, though. You're
I
mad at
know.
me.
I'm not happy about that.
She told me not to mess up her bucket, and I just messed it up.
Okay, sissy.
That's permanent, too. So I got a round deal. That's almost on the verge of being too big, but
We'll probably go
we're going to do it anyway.
all of them.
And I'm going to use it for the top, too. I'm really going to sink that thing down. That's just not, yeah, I'm really going to fatten this thing out. Babe, I'm not used to working with things that I have to worry about not messing up.
I know.
See, everything down here is a tool for me. Okay. Top, so I don't forget. Bottom. Boom.
Think rubbing alcohol will remove Sharpie. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking in my head.
See, I didn't ruin it.
No, I knew that, but I had to let you sweat it for a little.
All right. Hopefully you guys brought something to cut this up with. I'm going to use a carpenter knife that I use at work all the time. Even a steak knife, a serrated steak knife, serrated knife works good on this stuff, depending on how thick it is. This is pretty tough, so this may even be a pain. I was planning on not getting the Dremel tool out for this, but if it's too stout, then I'll get the Dremel tool out for it. And just pop the balloon. All the air just came out.
I'm not what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Almost double. I had to use my Dremel. I'm back in a minute. Gotcha.
Yeah, if you got a Dremel, use it. It's a lot easier. It is all over the place. I haven't just cut with this in forever because I usually just use a Dremel anymore.
Right.
Shows you how out of practice I am with a knife cutting through the mache. And I can already tell you, I probably could have and should have put more layers on this because it's already walking on me.
Little keyhole saw, or I saw they include in pumpkin carving kits who probably work well.
Yep, I agree with that.
We have one of those upstairs somewhere.
I think there's 3 of them right there in that drawer behind you.
Oh.
So when those come off, you should see the balloon, and the balloon really, it doesn't matter on this one, but getting on the inside, generally if you just kind of get it pulled on it and you get it to kind of move back, then on the inside what I'm going to do, you can remove all the balloon on the inside, and that's what you want to have happen. Now what this balloon is sticking to right now is this tape that I put down inside there. But for the rest of the inside of the pumpkin, that stuff will come off pretty gosh darn easy. It'll start peeling away as I lie to you, and this just wants to fight me. Normally, it just kind of comes apart. Maybe that's because it's Type 1-3. But see how smooth this is? This is why I like using balloons, because the inside of the pumpkin is super smooth. Reflects light really well. Here we go. You got to kind of, like I was just kind of feel along the edge here on the inside, and I can finally get my thumb on it to kind of roll that balloon away.
That's not quiet.
That's not quiet, but I didn't lie.
Yeah, it's coming right off.
Coming right out of there.
You did pretty good on this.
On the chicken nuggets.
Maybe I'm just hungry.
Could be a little bit of both. So see, all comes out pretty easy, and
I didn't
it's
think you did a
just
whole
super clean.
on both sides. You
Yeah.
always?
A whole lot of them. The ones you see, like, I don't have any down here.
Mm-mm.
They're all in the garage. Anyway, yeah, you'll see. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I
see,
get it.
like those don't.
What's that? No, those don't there. But
Okay.
once I do this, you'll be like, oh, yeah.
I forget.
So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the top off too. That wasn't loud or anything.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, it's beer dirty. I heard it pop.
It's actually $5.50, so it'd be $150. Oh, smart. Sorry.
Okay.
I use the Dremel with cutoff wheel works good.
Yes, it does. It works awesome. Next week, we'll be using the Dremel for sure. And I recommend anybody that's really building along when we get to the next week stages, if you have a Dremel, to use it. And if you don't have a Dremel and you're going to get into making these pumpkins a lot, I'd buy a Dremel.
You can get them pretty cheap at
Yep.
Freight, right?
Yeah, and they're not even bad price anymore at Lowe's and stuff. The bottom piece that cut off, you can whatever, get rid of it, lose it, use it, whatever. This top piece, keep, because we're going to take this top piece and turn it upside down, and we're going to put it back.
Oh.
We're going to put it back inside our
Upside
pumpkin.
down.
Upside down. Yep.
Accent says, I'm surprised how hard all the paper got. I could knock someone out with it.
Yeah, it does. It really, and if you, especially the more layers you get on, the stronger it gets. So now I'm just going to kind of tack this down with a little bit of hot glue. And then we're going to throw a little strip mache over this too.
If the surface is too smooth, will it cause a problem with the paint or varnish sticking to it?
Sometimes that first layer of paint can be a pain, but you can always go in and hit it with a little sandpaper to rough it up and give it a little bit of bite if it's too smooth. Or a lot of times if you take like a spray paint primer and primer it first, a lot of times the acetone in that spray paint will go ahead and bite to this stuff with no problem, and then you can paint to it pretty easy. But yeah, you can rough it up with like 1,000 grit sandpaper or something like that. Something kind of, nothing aggressive, a lighter sandpaper, whatever, just to get it some scratches. so that the paint wants to adhere to it a little bit better. All right, we get it hot glued down, and we got a little concaved area here. I like that because we're going to put a stem in here, and then we'll work from the top out. And I kind of a lot of my pumpkins I make have a where the ridges kind of come over and they dip in a little bit. I just like the way it looks. I think it looks cool, so I do it like that anymore. We'll go ahead and make a little stem that we're going to stick on here. We're going to glue it in. We'll do a little strip mache all around this edge, pull it together, and we'll pull some strip mache up onto that stem too. So we're basically just kind of getting this all as one cohesive piece, and then we're going to work on our cotton.
When I do farm cosplay hammers and stuff, I use plasti. Is it called
Plasti dip.
Plasti dip was that to seal it. I wonder how that would stick to mache.
Be worth a try.
I feel like everything's worth a try.
And be worth, the one thing I know with like Plasti dip, if you use you can buy Plasti dip spray to spray in a car, but you have a clean surface that's shiny and fresh. The thing with the Plasti dip is later on you can grab it and pull it off, which is good for car guys that want to just kind of change their color of their car cheaply. But I would imagine it would bite. This should be porous enough that Plasti dip should bite into it. I would think. Oh. All right, we're going to make a little bitty old stem, just with a little bit of newspaper. And we're going to tape that and glue that into place. Come here. And I'm not going to do anything special to make the stem. I'm just wadding up some newspaper. I'm going to give it a little stem shape and roll on.
Your daughter's sweet. You should have seen her going to bring you food. And I said, you won't eat it right now, baby. Just put it in the microwave. She was like, okay. I was trying to get everything ready for him.
It was nice of her.
I was thinking on the inside to seal it, then spray paint the inside. Was what he said.
Yeah.
See, that's totally that dude that worked over.
Yeah, it is. He was totally super quiet.
Yeah, she said he's always like that.
All right, so there's nothing really to this. Just a little bit of paper, shape down, and I'm going to hot glue it right in the center. Is that for here, or is that a dog walking around?
She was getting something mac and cheese or something. She was quite coming down and the dog going up.
Okay, so that's, you can barely even see that over the top, but just a little bitty stem. That's gonna work. That's gonna work. I'm gonna throw a little tape on here to help hold too.
Does the balloon on the inside matter if it's not pulled all the way off?
I try to get the balloon completely out of the inside because of the fact that I'm going to paint the inside later, and we're going to paint it with white paint. And I don't want anything in there that maybe later on, for some reason or another, could fall off and then leave a spot that's not painted. So, yeah, I try to get it all completely removed. So, pretty much,
It comes out pretty easy.
I got everything, unless if you have wherever you had tape,
yeah,
that would stick to the tape. It's hard to get off the tape, but you play with it enough, you'll get it all the way out of there. And if I remember right, I got some strip mache right here. See, I've always got like, I have strips of newspaper ready to go all the time and different deals. 99% of the time. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do a little strip mache around all this. So we kind of join that together. And I'm going to strip mache the stem down into here and around the stem. And then we're going to work on some, and that stem could have almost been, whatever, it's good enough.
It's really hard to see what you're doing though, the way you're.
Yeah, let's see if we can move this here. Can you guys see that? Look better? Yes, no, no, yes. Where did my new thing of, here they are. I'm just going to
dip it with your fingers.
I'm just going to dip with my fingers right now. I'm probably going to regret this after I move on to cotton balls. But
Closer is better for me.
yeah, we'll see what we can do to keep it close. The rest of the deal here. Oh, you know what she could do? She would be so awesome.
Well,
I wonder if she'd make me a drink.
well, she's probably eating right now. I can say.
I've got to get that video done and out too.
Sometimes you need to be further from the camera to get everything in frame, but closer helps for detailed work.
Yep, yes it does. I'm trying to keep it back far enough that I don't get out of focus. This camera is not the best thing in the world, but it does work. Holy cow, she come down here?
I don't know.
I heard her. I was like, well, that's awesome. She did.
Yep.
If you were eating, you didn't have to right now.
I
So.
said when she was free.
Oh, I am, but
Thank you. I want to go around one more time and do another little layer on top of that. I'm not used to this Type Bond 3 because it's like got a white color. It's not yellow like the Type Bond 2 is. For the most part, that hot glue is going to hold this onto there, but this is going to help out. And the cotton balls are going to add a little bit extra to it too. The one thing I don't do when I make anything for the yard and stuff is rely on hot glue to really be the strength of any of my joints, because if it gets hot, it'll melt again and you'll lose joints and things. Learned that the hard way. I'm getting out of frame. Sorry, guys. All right, so I've gone all the way around, and so now I'm going to work on. I'm going to run some strip machine here and come right up onto the stem. So basically, the stem is going to be macheted into the top of this. I do that to all my pumpkins. So when my pumpkins are done, you can grab mine by the stem, walk around with them, do whatever you want to. They're not going to fall off. They all become one piece. That's not to say I haven't had some break off in the past when they have fallen off of high things.
Wow, taking so long. Of course you would say that, Ben.
Sneed's on here. That's funny. What's up, man? I doubt old Ben's macheting right along with us.
Mm.
he's doing the Malibu thing, so I just had normal.
What's up? Plan
Whichever
on
one.
coming Monday, he says.
All right, on Ben. You coming over on the 4th? Sweet. We will be here. We will be here. When I do this, I'm really trying to layer quite a bit of newspaper from the base here coming up onto what's going to be the stem. Trying to get quite a bit onto there so it makes it a good solid attachment. That way later on you can grab this thing by the stem and move it around or whatever. You don't have to worry about it tearing off. That's so funny. That was totally not anybody I expected to
It's probably because I put it on Snapchat.
stop off on YouTube for a little bit.
You probably saw it.
Oh, I gotta get that other pumpkin thing sealed up and then put in a box.
What, for Axeman?
Yeah.
You hear that, Axeman? He's gonna send it to you. Hell yeah, it's a stunning piece.
And it's gotta get weather sealed and stuff first, though. I've been doing so much other stuff that I haven't weather sealed it or anything. Or
No worries. Just walked in the door, cobwebs and candlesticks.
what's up, Keith? All right, this is pretty much going to be enough to secure that stem down.
Cobwebs gave you 20.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I watched your video the other day on the Halloween decor that's already out. That bowl nacho dip thing, that spider with the bowl, that thing looks pretty cool. But man, I don't know if I'd $39.99 for that thing.
Visited my mother-in-law today. Great weather, awesome day.
Awesome. Good thing it's good weather. It's pretty nice here, except it's hot. It's beautiful outside, though.
I love this skull pie.
Oh, come on. All right. See, I shouldn't regret doing that now. So if you got paste on your fingers, now's the time to get it off, because we're going to move on to doing our cotton balls. So we can undo hot glue gun. It can cool down. We're going to go cotton ball phase here. So now you definitely want, for sure, you want a cheap paintbrush. Because when we go to play around with this cotton ball and mache paste, it's the paintbrush makes a huge difference.
That guy was washing his hands.
Huge difference. Look at that thing. Boy, look at that. That's big and pretty. Straight from Wally World. Variety pack for $6. Works perfect for things you want to destroy.
Things you want to destroy.
And Mache paste. Yeah, Mache. The weld glue is not very forgiving, so we need to get. I'm probably going to have to stand this up on something a little bit higher. Because, like I said before, if you guys have anything like Pringles can, anything like this, because we're going to set our pumpkin on top of that. That way we can work all the way around this entire thing from top to bottom.
Paint a house with that one. Talking about your paintbrush.
Oh yeah, the big one? Absolutely. Boy, it take a long time though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see, because you guys can't. The one thing I really want to focus on is up top.
What do you need?
That man, that might be too tall. What do we got? Hey, what about that little silver thing down there? We can use.
I don't think it'll sit on it right.
I bet I can make it sit in there right. Sorry, guys. We're gonna.
Oh, I thought you were putting pumpkin on there.
No. Trying to get a better angle here where they can see what's going on top when we start rolling this cotton on here. All right, so I'm using the Pringles can like I talked about earlier. As you can see, I can spin it, move it. I can move all the way around it. Whenever I do these cotton ball pumpkins, I always start on the top up here by the stem, and then I work my way down the pumpkin. I'll go all the way down the side. This is where your cotton balls can get finicky. This is where a little more patience comes in. But you can, over time, if you learn how to play with this cotton right, you can do a lot with it. And if you get Mache paste on your hands, this cotton's going to stick, and you're going to get all kinds of frustrated. All kinds of frustrated with it. It gets annoying. So the first thing we're going to do, we got a little piece of cotton at one end of it. I'm just going to squash it together. Squash, squish, whatever. Kind of like make it to a little bit of a point. It's not a perfect point, but we're going to make a little bit of a point. Before we apply this, I'm going to go ahead and take, because that's going to, man, I need two different camera angles. That's going to drape down the side, right? I'm going to go ahead and get some Mache paste on the side of the pumpkin underneath this cotton that we're getting ready to put up. We've already got a lot on top here, so that's good. But we want that underneath. Now, we're going to take our little pointed end and just stick it in there and drape it down the sides. Now, the end, I think you guys can maybe kind of see this. But the end here, I'm going to feather this end out just a little bit, fan it and make it thinner. When it comes down to here, that way when I put another piece of cotton on here, that's already thinned out, and we can kind of smooth that into the next piece of cotton easier and not see a big ridge there. Now here's the thing. Here's where stuff gets whatever. There's no real way. There's not a correct way and a bad. I'm going to load my brush up with paste, and I'm going to basically dab the paste onto this cotton, okay? And then I'm going to lightly brush this cotton. If I load this up with Mache paste and then I just come in here and press down real hard, you'll just smash the cotton down flat, and then you just got a flat piece of cotton there. that'll work, but you're going to have to do several layers of cotton to ever build up any kind of girth or space or whatever. So this is where you've got to kind of finagle things and be nice with it. You can't be heavy-handed so you can keep your shape in it. So let's see how well I can do this with you guys watching and it being up close. It's kind of difficult without me just being right over the top of it. But basically, I've really loaded up my brush. It's dripping off. I'm going to kind of roll with it just a little bit. And the strands of my cotton are kind of going this way. So if I'm brushing at this moment in time, I'm pulling this way so I don't pull strands away. If that makes any sense at all.
Gotcha. Very interesting.
And before you even try to brush anything, you really need to make sure you got this cotton loaded with paste, because if you try to roll this brush on top of the cotton that doesn't have any paste on it, you're just going to start pulling your cotton and pulling it away from your project. You're going to get pissed off. All kinds of crazy things are going to happen. I'm sorry, guys. I got to move this a little bit for me to be able to see. I'll twist it back to you in a minute. You can kind of see we've got a little bit of a hump left here, and this is just the beginning, right? I'm going to run this all the way down to the bottom. Then I'm going to come back up again, and we're going to run another piece of cotton halfway on this and halfway over on another open spot. That way we can widen out our pumpkin here. Nope. Most pumpkins don't have a ridge that's, that small. They're thicker, so that's what we'll do to widen this stuff out. But I am going to see if I can turn this a little bit where I can see it, because I can't see it. I'm trying to show you guys.
Your project pisses me off. I threw it on my garage roof.
Yep, been there, done that, man. More than once. More than once. There's anything that this will do is this will test your patience. And I'm basically just grabbing this stuff, loading it up, and letting it dab onto the cotton. And once we get through all this and we get this shape up, when this dries, then you can come back over it and you can apply all kinds of pressure on it. You won't really, you won't hurt anything. You won't change anything, because this cotton will soak up all this paste, and it really gets down through it. You don't think it does, but it gets down all the way through it and makes it hard all the way through. So I'm going to go ahead. I should have got my other deal out of the garage. I might have to go get that thing. I've got blocks I made for this, and it makes this job a lot easier, and I'm probably going to have to go get it, because I don't have enough weight on that. But
You have to go get what?
in the garage, there's those 4x4 deals I made. It's got a single dowel rod in the middle of it. Yeah, I've had them forever. This is where things are going to get messy and crazy. I got a little bit here. I'm just going to roll it over the bottom edge and tuck it in. If you got a Pringles can like I got here, I would recommend throwing something in the bottom of it and weighting it down. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab something else so I can continue doing this and I don't have to fight it quite so much. And that was loud.
I bet he's found something on the road. Yeah, right?
Anything exciting? Everybody sleep?
No. Cobweb good. I bet he's found something off the road.
Ha! Nope. This. Got a couple of these. I made these a long time ago. Allows me to work on all this stuff. I can change my angles, tip things back and forth, do all kinds of stuff. But now I'm going to definitely have to get a higher. No, I can do this. Higher deal. All right, so there's kind of a ridge through there, but this thing isn't near big enough. It's too thin. So take another thing of cotton. Add a little more paste. Hello. Try to keep this in your guys' view. Now I'm always going to be taking my ends and fanning these ends out, thinning them out quite a bit on both sides. You can also take these and kind of pull them apart a little bit, spread them, make them a little bit thicker. I am going to come back and address the very top side here again, but for right now, I'm just wanting to widen this here. So I'm just going to drape that just kind of right over the top and pull this right alongside that. And as we come to the top, I want to kind of keep this in, right? Because we narrow these, you know, a pumpkin kind of narrows at the top and we get wider in the middle.
So Axel's saying the cotton is really cool, and could you just do a strip of hot glue to tack the cotton down, then paste or spray glue?
You could definitely do spray glue, or yeah, you could even do hot glue if you wanted to. I just find that your paste sticks well enough that there's no reason to use any other glues. I apologize, guys, if this is like kind of all over the place and you can't see exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep that in that camera for you at the same time, but it's difficult to do that and watch what I'm doing at the exact same time. Now these, I'm going to put another one here on this other side too. As you get to the edge over here, I'm going to add a little more here because if you notice this kind of sinks in. But anyway, you can add more pressure to the outside here and go ahead and push your outside edges down. And that will help create that hump that's going to be in between. But I'm going to take another one, put it on this side. So we're basically going to be kind of 3 wide. And then I want to come back in with a couple more where you can see this indentation between the two. We'll lay another piece over to that and try to mask that stuff out so you can't see that anymore as well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the hardest thing about this whole deal is trying to keep a decent angle on the camera,
right,
and work distance at the same time.
I'm making loud noises.
Yep, I'm making loud noises.
You want me to put that other light up here so I can see a little better?
No, it's okay. I'm probably just gonna stand a little bit. But as we go up, I'm always trying to keep. Now I am gonna have to address the top. Like I said, we're gonna do more there. But as I'm bringing this, we're widening this out. When I start at the top, I'm going to tuck my cotton in this direction, right? So you can see I'm really kind of, man, the light's not very good. I'm really overlapping. This is actually coming over the center of the other one, right? I'm overlapping. I'm narrowing this down, and then I'm allowing this to come out quite a bit. So we're wider here. We're wider here, and as we work up to the top, it narrows in just like a real boy, just like a real pumpkin.
Let's try it. Let's see what we can do. I don't know. I might blind you. Doing anything?
I don't. Does that help you guys see any better? Or is that too much light? Or
Some of the pieces aren't on here anymore, and it's not wanting to do what I want it to do. It's like that's in your face.
I'm fine, babe.
I am not having any luck this time. Good view for me. It might be a bit too much. Right. Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it might wash everything out.
I don't know. I was trying to help. The other day I got it really good.
Whoa, she's sliding around.
That kind of gives a little bit of light, but not too much, I feel like. What do you think? I don't know. If you can't see, just tell me and I'll turn it off. I moved it away, so it might help.
We're kind of doing at the bottom side, kind of the same way, narrowing it down a little bit. The bottom doesn't matter quite so much. The top is always more noticeable. A lot of times you can see pumpkins where there's pretty fat and white at the bottom for the curl underneath the pumpkin, so it's not that big of a deal. But the top side, just trying to keep that look. So I'm still really loading this stuff down. I'm being a little, and like I'm pretty delicate with this too. I'm not really putting a whole lot of pressure, but when I'm putting pressure, it's not a whole lot of pressure, but I am putting pressure on these edges over here to pull those edges down in there. Now we're going to take a couple pieces of cotton, and at that angle you can see where this dips in, right? So this is where I have one piece of cotton here, and there was that one and that one. I want to lay another piece over this and another piece over that, blend those in a little bit better. Then after this dries, if they're still too noticeable, you don't like it, you can blend it in even better, because once this dries, you can be aggressive and put more stuff in there and really, really blend it in. But while it's wet like this, you have to be ginger with it.
This is a cool technique with the cotton and paste mache.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a neat technique. I used to, mainly what I used cotton for mache paste was doing ground breakers and making rotten skin and flesh, because it works really, really, really good for that stuff. And then one day I just decided I was going to try to do, as I was playing with the cotton and seeing what it was kind of doing, I was like, man, I bet I can make a pumpkin using cotton. And I just played with it. Then realized it was lighter, had a pretty cool look to it. It is much slower to make a pumpkin this way, but it does give a look that you don't get with clay, paper clay anyway.
I'm thinking of doing warts on it. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this. This will shrink up, but it doesn't shrink up quite as much as paper clay does. But it does shrink. And we're going to hide this section here. And then I'll flip this over and we'll work on the top. Get the top kind of blended in, and then we're just going to move on to another ridge of the pumpkin. And we're going to do the same process over and over again.
many ridges do you do?
The pumpkin determines that. However many ridges it takes to get around your pumpkin. If you go wider ridges, of course, you're going to do less ridges. If you do narrow ridges, you'll do more. But it all just depends on the pumpkin. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to go all the way around this thing and get all these ridges in place and make this thing just look like a normal pumpkin. Then next week, we'll carve faces into this normal pumpkin. And then we'll go through some techniques of using the cotton to create over exaggerated expressions on the face and all that stuff. Then what this gives you guys a little bit of a feel on how this cotton reacts and how frustrating it can be.
Did you ever think of gluing backer rod down under the center of the ribs before building up?
No, I haven't. I mean, you could. I just, when it comes to a lot of this stuff, Keith and everybody else, it's what I have on hand. How cheap can I do it? What can I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got cotton, I've got the newspaper, I've got this stuff laying around because a lot of times I just wanted to make stuff and I didn't want to go out and purchase a bunch of crap. But yeah, you could build up with backer rod or something else and you just lay back down over the top of it with your cotton. Might be a pain in the butt to cut through on your face later on, but you could do it.
He gave you $20 more to keep up creative.
Thanks, Wayne.
And then Becca gave you $100.
Thanks, bro.
Extra on it.
Okay, so now we're gonna look. See, I got this. I'm gonna tear this thing in half. See, I got. Here's where it gets frustrating. I've got stuff in my hands and this cotton sticking to me. You just have to deal with it. Sucks. I'm going to go ahead again. I'm going to smash down just the very end of this. That way I can bring the end back to the center of this. And then I'm going to work that fatter edge back over with this piece so we can blend this in with this side over here. And if we do it right and are careful enough and do enough layers, we should be able to make this ridge that we made by cutting that disappear with the cotton.
So Carla says, gotcha. I always try experimenting after doing things one way to see if I can alter the process.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree with that, Keith. That's how with pumpkins or whatever, there's like 4 or 5 different ways. And I'm talking just in the mache realm, right? I'm not talking about, using foam or anything else, just mache wise. There's like 3 different ways that I do pumpkins with mache, and it's just because I was playing around and experimenting in different ways to create them. But I've always leaned on trying to keep it stricter with just being mache. It's so hard to do this and not get my arms and stuff in the way. I'm trying to do this, not get my arms and hands in the way, but I'm still trying to make this thing look decent. It's tough. I apologize every time my hands get in the way and you guys can't see. Okay, so there we've got a ridge. So difficult. Man, that camera sucks.
It's not horrible.
We're built up quite a little bit here, so we're hiding our ridge. We're narrowing down like a pumpkin on the inside here. I can probably go ahead and put a little more here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wind up letting this dry. And then when this is hardened, if I need to come back in here and do some more filler work, then I'll put some more in and deal with that then. Because once this stuff dries up, this dries up solid. Once that's dry, we can do all kinds of other stuff on top of this and not affect the shape of this, right? So we get all this base shape done first. We're golden. We can do all kinds of crap after that and add on top of it and do all kinds of stuff.
Sure,
what was that question?
Just keep doing what you're doing. It's really cool. Excellent.
All right, we're going to add another ridge. So I basically, like what I just did, we start with the center of the ridge and then work ourselves out. So when I start this ridge, this next ridge, I'm not going to, this is where it gets kind of difficult sometimes in here. It gets kind of funny. I wouldn't ever start one out right here next to this. I'm going to move over and have my center come down like this, right? And then widen out and do some stuff in here. I may go ahead and come to the complete opposite side right now and start my ridge here and then work my way around. I think that's what I'm going to do. You don't have to do that. Just know your first one you're putting down, in my head, is generally the center of the ridge, then we widen it, you know, from there. So yeah, here we go. I'll see if I can keep this in view. Basic, it's the same process that we just went through. We're just going to follow that same process all the way around. Remember, if you smash it down, you're going to lose all the detail, or you're going to lose all the, you know, you're making humps. If you smash down on it, you're going to flatten it out, and you're just going to build up a whole bunch of layers of cotton. If you're nice and delicate with it, then you can create shapes. Cat, what are you doing? Got like animals are going crazy down here. The dog's running in here. Got cats knocking stuff over.
Can we put lunch down for you?
See, I like black. I don't look so fat in black.
Oh, stop it. Chancy, come here. Chance.
And if I didn't have a stem in here already, I would just pull these points together, and then I would later on just add a stem right over the top of it. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but once I put that in there, then I was just kind of turn around looking at it, trying to keep this running like straight up and down the pumpkin, right? And I'm going to turn, now that you guys are kind of seeing up close, I want to keep the camera here where you can kind of see, but I'm going to keep it where I can see what's going on. That way I can get moved with this a little bit faster. All you guys that are building, oh, you hand me a paper towel there, baby.
Sure.
All you guys that are building along, if you have any questions, holler while we're doing this. If it seems like it's screwing up on you or whatever, describe the question, your problem as best as you can. I will try to then reenact the exact problem you're doing and see if we can show you how to get past it. Right? Does that make sense? Maybe, possibly. You getting tired there, babe?
I guess.
work on faces and stuff next week, we'll be cutting right through all this cotton.
Would wearing gloves during this be a hindrance?
Yes, absolutely is, because you get it on your glove. Every time I've tried using gloves doing any of this with Mache, it always winds up being more of a pain than what the gloves are worth. What are you laughing about?
Elementary teachers versus high school teachers.
That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. High school teachers, I feel like, hate their kids. They don't want to see them in public. Oh.
Right.
And then we love our kids. We just want to, but they're still nice, I guess.
Well, high school years, that's when those guys got that attitude.
Yeah, true. They always have attitudes, though. It's just they get worse when they're older.
See, now that I'm focused in on this, it's like I lose that, now it needs to be story time, right?
You telling stories?
Things to talk about why this is going on, yeah. No, that's not long enough. And down, when you get to the bottom, you're always going to have to just kind of tear off, kind of eyeball it, do a little bit of measurement, what you think you need, and then tear it off. Like I said before, if you wind up having a little bit extra, just roll that under and push it up on the inside of your pumpkin, all good.
Chance, what are you doing? Chancey. I don't know what he's up to. Come here. I don't know if I trust you. I don't know what you're doing. And you look guilty. Dogs. Never. They're never guilty, right?
No, they're never guilty. You never wake up to a house full of poop in the morning.
Oh my god, yeah. There's the story you can talk about. Woke up to a house full of poop this morning. One of the dogs, I think, didn't feel very good. It didn't stink, at least. I mean, I'm going to have to say that was like number one. I was excited.
That must have been because it happened like
I think it happened right after
in
we
the
went to
middle
bed
of the
or
night.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty bad. I spent from like 8:30 to 11 shampooing and cleaning the carpet. Which I'm kind of OCD, so it probably took longer for me than what it should have, but still. Poor guys. I mean, it's not like it's totally their fault. They didn't feel good, so. Probably because you're eating stuff. I don't know what you're eating. Stop. Stop eating stuff. That's probably part of it.
Mm-hmm. I think part of it too was that stuff you probably got them
I
to,
know, but that's supposed to
for
help them
anxiety or
for their
whatever.
anxiety. But maybe I gave them too much. I think I split one in half that one year, so maybe I just gave them too much. I don't know. Can't quit eating whatever you're eating.
I got cotton sticking to me everywhere.
Yeah, that's why I can't do this. I can't handle stuff with my hands. I wear gloves to do dishes.
Yeah, but it looks so.
Definitely couldn't do this.
It looks so cool when it's done, though.
I think it's funny how we're so opposite, but we're like so perfect together.
Right.
Opposites do attract, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of similarities, but still.
This stuff, like this Type Bond 3,
Mm-hmm.
that looks like cinnamon, dough or something when you're looking at that.
Like you mean like bread dough?
Yeah, but
Okay.
like they would have like cinnamon or something because it's got like spotty stuff in it or whatever. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It looks so much different than just
The other one.
the other one. Yeah.
Is this the first time you've used that?
Type Bond 3, yes.
All of a time to do that.
Well, I wanted to find out how much better it was than Type Bond 2.
Are these your good shorts?
Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know.
I'm always getting on to him because he's always wearing nice shorts to do this stuff in, which most of the time I think this comes off, but when he's painting and stuff, it's like
No,
I
this
can't
doesn't
get it
come
off. Okay, no, it doesn't come off. Just kidding. He ruins all the shorts.
Well, I forgot how messy this was.
I'm sure that there's guys on there going, oh yeah, something my wife would say to me. And the women are probably thinking the same thing I am. Gosh dang it, change before you start doing this crap. I don't know, they're really silent. So
Well, hopefully it's
there's
because
21 people on here though.
I
It's
saw
amazing.
that. Hopefully it's because they're working along.
Oh yeah. I know. I'm just rambling. Sorry guys.
And I'm like you can use your fingers too, which I kind of don't recommend because it's going to make everything sticky. But you can massage that stuff in with your fingers too. You'll see me do it, but then you pay the price because you get this crap on your fingers, and then whatever.
He drapes an apron over his lap. Hey, we have those. You could use them.
Dude, yeah, I've got.
He doesn't do it. He's lazy.
I need to have some aprons made that say Unhinged on them, and then I'll start wearing those.
That's it. You have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
All my clothes are dirty, Axman says.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
are
a
mine.
man thing,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I have dirty clothes like that I'm gonna clean in, or that I'm gonna go outside and do work in, and then I have clothes that are nice, you know. Like, and everything I buy him, he ruins almost. Well, it doesn't ruin it, but you know they're dirty from stuff like this. Oh well. At least we have money to buy you stuff, babe.
Hi, kidding. What are you doing? Well, half that stuff is just because it's comfortable.
I don't know.
And it's just lounge junk around the house. It's not like I'm wearing these shorts to go out and eat somewhere or something. Look at that. Whoa. I got all kinds of stuff all over that. I need to fatten out this right here.
So you've just done it on one section though?
I've done two.
Oh, I missed that, I guess.
I just did a whole, like, for the past 30 minutes,
I thought that was the same
one
one.
whole
I
section.
thought it was the same
No,
one.
and
I'm
I
sorry.
just turned it.
I didn't
Oh
see
my
you
god,
turn it.
you're right here with me.
I know, I was on my phone playing games. And I'm paying attention to people talking, but
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was the same one. I was confused.
Negative. I turned the pumpkin and started a whole another one. Babe.
They're just so quick. I just didn't see it. Did you guys see the Elvis movie? No, we still haven't seen
No, I
that.
still haven't seen it yet.
It's only in theaters though, I guess. So we don't go to theaters very often. Like we feel like it just is a waste of money because we're cheap, and so yeah, we probably won't go till it comes out, like on Amazon or something. Probably won't see it. I hope my boys are like him whenever they grow up and take me places.
I haven't seen the Elvis movie, but tonight, hopefully, we get done with this in time. We're gonna watch Don't Breathe. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, I want to watch both of them though.
There's Don't Breathe 1 and Don't Breathe 2. I thought we watched the first one,
I
but
don't know.
we may not have. About
That came
an
out
old
in
man that's
2016.
blind or whatever, and these kids are gonna rob him. It looks pretty good.
We were gonna watch it last night, but our daughter had someone over that
Gets
is
scared pretty
terrified,
easy.
like of everything. I get scared pretty easy, but that girl, wow. Not an Elvis fan at all. Yeah, I'm not necessarily an Elvis fan, but I think it would still be interesting. Don't Breathe is pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't remember if we watched it or not, that first one.
I want to say we did, but I don't know. We may not have. We may just saw the commercials and stuff. Get up my finger. Get off. Grr.
When you watch it and realize that he literally was broke because his manager, something friends took all of his money. That sucks.
Oh, that must be the Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
So now I kind of went across from one to the next. I'm going to set this other one up here, and then my other one's going to be here, and then I'll kind of come in between and split those in half too, and that should keep these like ridges pretty consistent in size and placement and all that good stuff.
I saying something.
And then if you want, like some pumpkins got, smaller ridges or whatever, you can do the whole smaller size deal. Just being consistent. Once you do it and pick a kind of the size of ridges you're going to do, just be consistent with it all the way through.
Sounds like the Memphis Mafia were a bunch of freeloaders, lol. I definitely need more cotton balls. Uh-oh.
Who ran out? X-Men. I told you to unravel a bunch.
Don't have to say I told you so. I mean, come on.
I didn't say I told you so. I said I told you to unravel a bunch. It's better to have too many. I know I'm not in the camera light, but it's the same process all over again. Did he? Did your dog break wind?
No, it was my phone. I got a picture of you and you didn't turn away. I got a good picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
You silly dog.
Mm-hmm. I'm down to 16. 16 peeps. See, I just have nothing clever to talk about at this point. Those, I know some people go back and watch these things afterwards. I don't know how they watch through when I'm just like nothing's going on.
Maybe they fast forward to the boring parts. Do you remember what your first YT video was and how long ago you put it on?
Yep. Pretty sure it was, and it's still on there. Pretty sure it's Halloween 2012 or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's the very first YouTube video I ever did. And it just kind of shows the yard. Uh, not the best yard ever, but it shows it. And oh, I smashed that up.
2011.
2011, is that what it was?
It's 3 minutes and 50.
And it's not a tutorial or anything like that. It was just like a video of the yard for Halloween.
Yeah.
And then after that,
It was.
I started
witch
making
stuff.
these witches, and those videos were more like just pictures I took of the process while I was making the witches with music in the background or whatever. Yeah, there's that thing.
Took your third video up. It shows the process. I love that thing. I thought it was spooky. I don't even know what you call it, but
I still don't know what I call it when we say that thing. So then a lot of those, yeah, they were just just took pictures along the way. I'd make something, stop, take a picture of it in the process, and then put it all together like a montage deal or whatever. And then I finally started kind of doing tutorials talking about how, because I was posting on Facebook, people were asking me how I was doing stuff, and I was like, okay, well,
Accents, as I understand the Pringle can now, doing it on a water bottle, it moves a lot from weight. A 2x4 with a wood base and Lazy Susan would make it a lot easier for me.
yep, yeah, even the Pringles can uh, with some any kind of weight in the bottom of it too would help out quite a bit. What, Rufus? Do you got to go outside, Rufus? Really?
Right. Maybe you should make another one of these.
Another one of what?
A screecher.
I got some other pumpkin creatures I want to make first.
I'm the one that's scared to death of everything. You should make things that I want.
I wonder if I take the Pringles can. I smashed my bottom a minute ago. Put it on top of that, and then put that on top of there. Get that, yeah, that's gonna work even better. That's gonna work even better right there.
It's like your fourth.
Rubbing the glue off my hands.
I guess I'm gonna go take it off.
Okay. I will keep an eye out for anybody that wants to actually talk.
Here you go, Bubby. Come on, let's go outside. Let's go outside. Oh, they're running.
Yeah, you can do that, man. Freeze that water bottle. It's a little too late now, though. This thing here, I made years ago when I was doing hands and stuff. And it's a 4x4 post that I cut up. I got like four of them, 4x4 posts, and then I drilled through, and I've got like, is that a half-inch dowel? Anyway, a piece of dowel that I drilled a hole, put down in there, and glued it so I could put stuff on it and rotate the project around and work on it and get all the way through. And I did that long time ago. And it does help out quite a bit when you're doing stuff like this. I even at one point in time had thought about drilling holes in these cheap work desks that I made that I could just shove dowels into that were at different sizes and put them in different spots so I could just always have them on the fly. But I never quite got there. And I'm always taking and pulling these tops and bottom edges out so they kind of feather into each one a little better, kind of disappear. You can feather the outside edges too. Gotta be careful, but you can kind of lightly pull on them, feather that out, and then when you lay it in, they'll just kind of melt away and disappear as well. Yeah, Keith, at the moment I still use spar urethane. It just works good. I've also used oh Flex Seal. Flex Seal works pretty good too. It's got it basically comes out like a rubber or whatever. And I use it. I've used it on some pumpkins and stuff. I use it on some other things that I have some really has some detail in. And the only problem was I lost some of the detail um, because of the rubber built up or whatever. But I still use spar urethane. And like this one, before it goes to get painted, when it's raw, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put a coat of spar urethane on it first while it's raw, dry and raw, and let that dry up, and then paint over the top of that, and then color paint it, and then spar urethane it again. So it gets like they get like 2 coats of spar urethane. The fact that we're using Type Bond wood glues, Type Bond 2 or Type Bond 3, both those wood glues are pretty weather resistant. Using that for shea paste and stuff all the way through the build process. That I try to give these things every bit of chance I can for them to survive the weather, and they all honestly do pretty good. These cotton ball pumpkins, they seem to handle the weather even better than clay pumpkins do, and I think it's because they're lighter and they don't if they absorb water, they don't squish down. I don't have the same issues with the cotton ball ones as I do with the ones made out of paper clay. On to another. Woo! One. Man, you're doing some wild stuff. Okay. Woo-hoo. Dude, Keith, yeah, I totally did. I've still got 2 molds. And once I did these, it made me want to actually buy, spend some money and actually buy some real molding supplies. But I made 2 years ago or so, 2 years ago or so, I made molds of some smaller pumpkins just using silicone from the store. And I made this little pumpkin, and he was paper mache. I molded him. And then, so it's got a silicone. I got a silicone mold of this, and then whatever mother mold. And I did this design guy too. And then I was trying to do foam stuff, and this is that foam from Home Depot for setting posts. It doesn't like paint at all. Even acrylics that don't have acetone in it, it likes to shrink up. Anyway, quit playing with it. But I still have those 2 molds. And there's been a few pumpkins that I've been like, wish I could mold them. Sure, Whip. 2 hours. You can go upstairs if you want. It's been 2 hours, 19 minutes. This one's going to be a little bit longer, but I don't want to quit until I got this pretty much done. Because no matter what, I need to get this done so it sets and dries before next week. I'm getting pretty close though, because I'm going to do one here and one here, then I might fatten those out just a little bit more, and that's pretty much going to be the end of this portion. We're just got to set and dry. But yes, I played around with some molds and did that. I am not super good with it.
What?
Making molds.
I use rigid foam from BITY and powder the mold first, then latex paint sticks right to the foam. Yeah. Did you make a video of making the molds?
Nope, I absolutely did not, because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was just playing around with it to see if it would work. And there are other people out there that know way more about mold making than I do. So, negative. Did not make a video of that. It was kind of interesting. Like I said, I used cheap materials. Brick and Yard Mold Supply, some good stuff. Good foams and good silicones and stuff. If I was going to get in and really start doing some molding of my stuff, and I don't know, maybe one day I will, who knows, but I would go. That's the one thing that you can't be cheap on, really. I think you need to spend the money for the supplies to do it right. But it's so hard for me not to be cheap. That's why I like this. It takes a lot longer, but it's cheap.
Yeah, BITY is a great silicone, but is great, but silicone is expensive.
Yes. All those supplies are spent. They all took a big increase too, from what I was told, over the past year or so.
Well, everything in life has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Keith, is the mold making a paper mache any different than other making molds of clay things?
Well, she's asking Keith. I'll let Keith
Keith,
answer that
oh.
too.
Well, no, I think she's.
I
Okay.
think I'm going to put it. Yeah.
Forms, resin, and silicone.
Shut up. So I'm going to let Keith answer that, and I'm going to try to answer a little bit too. When you do, I know when you're doing this stuff, like when you do clay, of one I've watched, like your clay can kind of break away and demold, and it's a little bit easier to get that stuff cleaned out. When you're molding your mache stuff, I know if you got big undercuts and everything else, it can be a pain to get that stuff pulled away at the beginning. That's the difference that I see or I saw when I was even doing these little ones. But Keith, and I think Psycho does some mold making too. You guys probably better off answer her question than I can, because I don't make a bunch of molds.
Psycho says the silicone mat works great to keep the wood clear off the table. Cobwebs, not really a good mold. Release helps though.
Is that you?
What?
Making that noise?
What noise?
I thought it looked like a. Yeah. I thought it was a dog.
No.
No, I could just hear like a bag rustling or whatever, and I was like, "What is that?" I was kind of looking for Chance or one of the cats or something. I don't see him. I was like, "What is that? We have a ghost down here with us or something."
Our house, so.
Oh yeah, my wife is convinced that this house is haunted.
There's a ghost in here, I promise.
I've lived
The
in this
kids
house
even
for.
say
I
it.
grew up in this house. I lived here for 40 some years.
Whatever.
I don't think if it's haunted by if there's any ghost in this house, it's my father. And that's all there is to that
Well, it'd be a friendly
scenario.
ghost,
Scenario. But she claims stuff. My kids, both my boys claim footsteps and different things. And
I'm not crazy.
I think Colin even said he saw a figure or something,
Yeah,
or was that Cam that said that?
Colin. He said it the other day. He never told us because he knew you wouldn't believe him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll tell you guys this too. Like, so once you get past this and you're letting this thing dry up, like tomorrow, it should be quite a bit stiffer. And if you come along and brush on another layer of no cotton balls or anything, but just brush on more mache paste onto it, uh, especially if you're using the tight bond, it will sink in to the cotton even more, and it'll strengthen it even more. Because there's times while if I got a week or so, I'll go in the next day, I'll add a little more paste over the top of it, and then maybe do it again the day after that, and then let it sit there and completely finish drying. And it's always pretty gosh darn rigid after that.
Okay, Pizza Man is here. Beer's coming out the fridge. Good night, all, and happy 4th to everyone. Be safe.
See you, Keith. Happy 4th, man. Enjoy your pizza and beer, brother. Thanks for hanging for a while.
I know these guys are making these, or they probably wouldn't still be on here. No offense.
Yeah.
It's just that there's just
No,
it's just
I
kind
get
of
it.
chill,
It's
you know.
real chill. It's slow. That's where it's like I wish I had more things to talk. I wish there was more things to talk about just about doing this as far as pointers to just kind of carry everything along and help it, but there's not. It's kind of like after going through and just, you talk about, keeping that gentle touch and watching what your cotton's doing and all that stuff. Once you've talked about that, and we discussed some of that earlier on, you don't have those discussions anymore. But if I had, if I knew new people were coming on or whatever and asking questions or whatever, then I would reiterate all those things again.
Hi, buddy.
It's hard to keep it entertaining all the way through. That's why the other videos are easier. I only had to be entertaining for so long.
Undercuts are a great trick to mold making. Just don't do any more than a 75-degree on ice.
Yeah, I've heard that undercuts can be a pain sometimes.
Hi, buddy. What's up?
Is that Chance?
Rufus.
What's up, Rufus?
I think he's like, why are you guys down here? Will you please come back upstairs?
We'll be coming back up there here in a bit. Puppy dog. So here's the thing, too. Next week, we're 2 hours and something into this right now.
2:30 almost.
All you guys that are making along with next week's going to be long, too. Because once we start doing the detail in the face and all that stuff and kind of getting crazy with some of this, you can really be here a while.
Hey guys, so I'm not going
creating
to be
that
here
stuff.
next week. Sorry.
I was also thinking about doing it like at 10 o'clock in the morning, our time, next time, earlier in the day. That would give people in California and stuff like 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
You guys let me know, because I've been doing it at 5. It kind of interrupts our dinner time or whatever, things like that.
Which you're not complaining about.
No, I'm not. But if in the morning, if you guys want to do something like this more in the morning and get it out of the way in the morning, and then
some people might want to go party.
Have your evenings and stuff or whatever, Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon to go do whatever you want to do. You guys tell me if that seems like it's going to work. If that will work better for your current living conditions and lifestyle.
What's up, baby? I just don't think he likes it whenever we're not up there.
Because we can totally do that too. Totally do that too. And then that will help some of those other guys that are like late at night. Maybe it's not so late at night for them. Just trying to figure it out. Time zone stuff is trying to make it best for everybody. I'm trying to get it where if people who are actually doing this and building along enjoy it, and if they want to do other classes, then we can do other classes and get things set up a little bit better, a little more interactive or whatever.
I've been getting crazy for the last 2 hours. Whatever time you want to do it, I'm down. I haven't had dinner yet. I got ribeyes to barbecue.
Who's that?
Axman.
Dang. I'm holding up on ribeyes while we're doing this.
I know, right?
And some dedication, bro. That's some dedication. Maybe it'd be better to do it
Earlier.
like in the mornings or something like that. Where Saturdays and stuff, just like that. If people are going to barbecue or whatever and stuff, they can go do that type of stuff in there. You know, that way, if this is something they want to do,
He says, I'm learning.
You know,
he likes learning.
Clean my hands off again. Yeah, I know that's got to be loud. I have never rewatched one of these live.
Yeah, it's probably horrible.
Events, and that's probably like horribly, terribly loud.
Probably. I'm good with the time, but most any time, being okay, my business is on call 24/7.
I'm supposed to be on call 24/7, but
you go out a lot. Even when you say you don't want to, you still do it. Especially in the winter.
I would rather be here doing this, teaching people.
We just need to move to a bigger city, I feel like.
Enjoying talking with people.
Okay.
Teaching them what I've learned.
Do you use the cotton ball method on other projects as well? Is it good for details?
It can be good for details depending on what kind of details you're doing. The most other projects I use the cotton balls on are like ground breakers, right? Like zombie type stuff. It's awesome for rotten flesh, right? Because you can pull it and string it and do all this other stuff with it, and it just has this great rotten flesh scenario to it.
So are you going to finish doing the whole pumpkin?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I got bring this out here, and I might have to put a couple little pieces in here, and I want to kind of show them that where I didn't space this quite right, and I'm going to have a weird gap in here, and what I'm going to do to correct those little gaps. So basically, I got 4 more runs to do on this thing, and then I'm all the way around the pumpkin, and he's pretty much will be looking like a pumpkin and ready to dry up.
I just feel like it's going to take you another hour.
It could. I mean, you're normally not down here when I'm making this stuff, and that's when you don't realize how long it takes me to do this. That's things that people never realize is how
it's very
long this stuff takes.
I know it takes you a long time.
When I've had people want me to price them things to sell, and then I've priced things for people before, and they've gotten upset. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe it." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't understand the amount of time that's in this project."
I'm sure other artists understand it.
It wasn't done in a factory overseas somewhere, just smashed in a mold and pushed out. I think I'm just going to make these fatter altogether. That'll help that go faster. What?
Psychoman ask questions. Okay. It's a class. Oh.
It is a class, that's for sure. Well, it's supposed to be a class. I should.
What do you sell your work with or outside elements?
For the most part, I use spar urethane. Any kind of spar urethanes. You got to be careful now. I used to be able to find clear spar urethanes all the time. Lately, it seems like most of them I'm finding anymore are tinted. That's just kind of around. That may just be a local thing around here. I use spar urethane. I've used Never Wet before. Never Wet holds up for a while. It does lose its. Never Wet's amazing at first, and it does lose its ability to withhold the rain and moisture. And I've heard it turn colors on me and try to flake off over time. Also used Flex Seal. Flex Seal works well. I know people have used driveway sealant, like a rubber sealant. I haven't used it or tried it yet. I'm sure it works great because you're basically that's like a rubberized tar type of stuff, so that's gonna work good too. Except you'll probably lose a little bit of detail if you have high detail on something or whatever.
Can you carve the cotton ball mache like you can the mache clay to get details?
No.
Axman feels like the glue is too thick. Our glue or your glue?
If your glue's too thick, water it down. And then no, you can't carve this like you can clay. Next week, when we're doing facial features and all that stuff, we're going to be adding cotton on top of things and blending it in, and I'll show you how that process goes. But yeah, when it's dry, we'll cut through it. We'll be able to cut through it all, but you can't carve into this like you can clay. It's a whole different beast. It's not. This is more time consuming than clay. It's not the easiest way to do it. It's just another way to do it.
Are we going to be cutting through it for the face?
Yes, we are. So, and here's what too I would recommend totally if you have a Dremel tool, to be using a Dremel tool next week when we cut through to make the face.
You've done it before when you don't cut through it though, right?
Yes, but it's difficult with the cotton. The Dremel tool makes it much easier to manage. Okay, so look, I got around here, and then we still have pretty much a big gap, and basically I've been doing 3, so I added another one here to fill the gap. I'll wind up coming back in on this one too.
It's hard to see what you're showing.
Sorry. I'm going to wind up coming back in on this one I've already done, and I want to add another one into here, and I'll close this off and bring this closer together. So in turn, I'm going to fatten these out even more. So basically, I've gone around. I'm going to go all the way around all these open sections, and then I'll widen these things out as I need to bring them together to look more cohesive and look more like a pumpkin.
The watered down glue works a lot better on the cotton. So just a base to build details on. Got it.
Yeah, what we're doing right now is just a base that we're going to build details on later. It's easier if you've never tried to do this stuff with cotton, because cotton can be frustrating. It's easier just to do this, build a pumpkin base that looks like a pumpkin first, and then come back in and cut through it, versus if we went ahead and just tried to do a face right now as we were going. That can be very, very aggravating. You can do it, and I didn't think that was the best way to introduce everybody into playing with cotton.
You don't want to frustrate them. first off.
Yep.
I got stuck on the ridges. Axeman. I feel like Axeman's probably a perfectionist like me. I'm sure everybody is, but the artists, we're really bad about it. I feel like all of us.
Yeah. I'm gonna move up with the bigger brush here. See if I can speed this up a little bit more.
You might back out a little. You can't see anything you're doing. I mean, I don't know if that's the point or not, but.
Well, yeah, I wasn't.
Okay.
I knew that at some point in time where I wasn't going to be in the frame all the time, just since we're repeating the same processes over and over again.
It's so fun though. Only happy accidents. He gave you $50 more.
Oh, thanks, man.
I think we're gonna have to do a class. He's gonna have to do a class for what he does for us.
And that's, you know, I don't know how many people that are watching this class right now or whatever, they're doing this, that do mache and the make pumpkins or whatever. If you guys want to do a whole nother pumpkin deal again, but do paper mache clay, let me know. We could do that as well. They go way, way, way faster. We'd already have, if this was clay, we would already have this whole thing clayed and our face built into the pumpkin.
That's what you should have done first,
already.
Then.
But that's a technique that is out there everywhere, right?
Okay.
You can find videos all over the place for paper mache clay because it's a very, very something that everybody does. This is something that
Isn't
not
there
very
a
many
way
people
on
do.
Facebook to make like a on Facebook or something where you can make a questionnaire or something? I swear there's a way you can do that.
Like take a poll or questionnaire or
Yeah,
whatever.
I really think there's
Yeah,
a
there
way
is.
that you can do that. You could do that. I wonder if you can do it on your page though. What is the average of cotton over clay? The average. I can't talk.
Advantage.
See, I can't talk. Sorry.
They're light. They're way, way lighter than a clay pumpkin. So, and even with them being light, that's one thing I've noticed with them being lighter and dealing with weather and stuff, they seem to hold up better. Even ones that make super big gaping mouths. Like I'm really bad about making mouths way too big, even though I know they're probably not going to hold up. The cotton pumpkins hold up way better in that process. And then if you're doing like a scarecrow jack or something, the fact that these pumpkins are lighter, if you build your head for your scarecrow jack out of this, you don't have a big old heavy pumpkin sitting on top, and that makes it better for a scarecrow jack. That makes sense.
So like I said, I made paper clay, but it's not much.
Okay, we're gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on to the next one, and I'm just gonna start filling them out after that. Once I get them all on here, then I'll start pulling them together. No one can see really what the hell I'm doing. It's just so hard to.
God, babe, stop doing that.
Don't I sit down and move and sit down and move. I'm sorry. So anyway, I hope that answered questions on advantage, disadvantage. Advantage, lighter, big mouth seem to hold up better. Disadvantage, it takes way longer to do this. Than paper clay. Should give and take, I guess. And then two, Psycho, I mean, yeah, your watered down helps out a lot better too. But if you're not saturating that cotton real good first before you're trying to pull with your brush, um, that causes it to really pull and tear at your cotton as well. You want to get that loaded up. Do I have enough right here? Oh, I didn't know Rufus was down here. So I heard that big Rufus sigh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was just looking. I ran out of funny bits to say. Oh man. Come on, baby. Give me a break.
See, the paper mache base from the last class is way better than the first time I tried doing this. First time the balloon popped.
Oh, that's Psycho, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't know what you did to make your balloon pop, though. I still wonder that every time you tell me that. Now I've had the balloon pop because I stuck it out in the sun to dry, and that's popped my balloons before. Well, it's starting to look like pumpkin now. Was that you or is that him? His belly making noises?
Whiny.
Hmm?
He's just being whiny. I put Scotch brown tape on balloon to do the ridges.
And the tape made it pop?
That's why it popped, yes. That's what he said.
Interesting. All right, babe. I'm speeding the process up just for you. I said I'm speeding the process up just for you. It's all sticking to my fingers. We're so close, I can taste it.
Keith needs to be on here talking.
Yeah, right. I know. I need to just
ramble about something.
Ramble about everything.
You're really good at that.
All right. Yeah. This whole cotton ball thing isn't going to be for everybody. That's going to be for sure. I like it. I like the texture the cotton balls give.
When's the next class? Supplies needed. I will be back for the next class. And he just gave you $100.
Holy cow.
Start answering questions now.
Thanks, Psycho. Is that what he said?
No, I said it.
He's like, I'm going to go make steak. I've been here long enough.
Like a little window in the corner.
Sorry.
He's killing me, guys. Killing me.
Next class, next Saturday, let's do 10 a.m. my time. So California time, like 8 o'clock. And supplies are going to be more cotton balls, Dremel tool if you have one to cut through all the stuff we're done tonight. Markers. You're going to want some kind of a Sharpie so you can draw your face on with that. And really, that should be it. Mache paste, cotton balls, Dremel tool, marker. And you know what? I don't know. It's all up to you guys. I'm going to detail the stem out with egg carton clay because I've got it super easy. I do have a video on my YouTube channel that shows how to make it. You can make just enough egg carton clay with just one piece of an egg carton to do the stem with. You can make that between now and then. It's super easy. It's just taking those egg cartons that are kind of like cardboardy or whatever, tear them apart. You throw them in some water, let them soak. Take a hand mixer, let them rip down even more. Squeeze the water out of them, and then just add wood glue to it, and you make a clay.
You have confirmation. Need wheels on that chair. It's so loud. So stop doing
I
it.
can't help it when I'm getting up and down. I can't just stop doing
You
it.
can do it differently, or you need to get a new chair.
Yes, I need to get
Psycho
a
just
chair with
gave you
wheels.
50 more bucks. There you go. Go buy a new chair.
Why are you giving me such a hard time?
Because it hurts my ears, and it hurts my ears. It's gotta hurt their ears. I can't sculpt setting. I get that, but we need a different chair then, because I can't do this. All right, you're on your own. I'm going upstairs. I
Okay.
am exhausted for whatever reason. I'm sorry, guys. I'm leaving you. Not that I add too much to the party, but
You go upstairs.
can't wait to see everybody's project this week.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Everybody that's working along, post some progress pictures this week.
Yeah, I'm excited. And have a good 4th if you get to celebrate it. I don't know. Not everybody does, so have a good weekend.
Carrie's out.
Have
Hey,
fun.
would you send Bree down with another one of these?
Yeah. Get all my junk. Yeah. Can we bring that chair up when you come upstairs, please?
Yes.
I forgot your cup. Oh, she can get it.
So everybody can talk amongst themselves or whatever. We've kind of gone over all the process of how this works. I'm just going to continue on doing this so I can get it done. I got things to do tomorrow, so I won't be able to come play with this tomorrow. So I want to get this done now so it's out of the way and it can just dry and it'll be ready for next week. And I'll just leave this rolling. You're in Maui? What time would that be for you? Ah, crap. I don't know. I would have to look that up. So I'm Central Standard Time, if that helps you out at all. I don't know if that does help you out or not, but that's the time zone that I am in. And I would Google it if my hands weren't full of paste. It's right there, sis. All right. So this has gone on for 3 hours. Holy cow. And apparently I still got a few of you still watching, which is awesome. I'm curious to know who I do have still watching. So, Maui, you're 2 hours ahead. 2 hours ahead. Oh, 5 a.m. your time, yeah. "13, ask a question." Yeah, any questions, man? Anything you're curious about this cotton ball stuff at the moment or any Mache stuff at all. That's the point. This is a free live class, and I'm here to try to answer any questions you guys might or might not have. Bob, what's up? You're here. Awesome. Yeah, Mopar's awesome, brother. Yeah, Bree, the texture, the texture that the cotton balls give does look a whole lot like a real pumpkin, for sure. I'll completely agree with that. It just takes a lot more time. No, so you are going to get air down underneath the cotton balls, right? So that's the thing. Um, the more you kind of saturate it, it'll soak in, but don't try to press down on it. You're going to flatten it out. But that's kind of like the trick to, or the secret to the cotton is you are going to have air like in here, right? If the air is left in there and we're top coating the side, we'll be able to make a hump or leave a hump. And this will come more into play when we're doing facial details, right? It creates that hump that you have there. But when this dries, trust me, it dries very stiff and very, very hard. So if you smash it down and try to get all the air bubbles out, you'll just flatten it all out. So some of the air bubbles, like I'll see them sometimes, and I'll just kind of wait because I like the shape. I'll wait till the next day when it's dried up and hardened some more, and then I'll go find those spots where I can see air bubbles or I can still see some cotton, and I will put more paste in it at that point in time because then I can add some more pressure to it and I won't lose our shape. Cotton ball is a whole this is a whole different beast. This is completely on its own little category from it. You know, it doesn't even behave like strip mache. It doesn't behave like clay. Any of that stuff. It's really its own thing. But I always like this. I don't know if you can see that. Really pick up your brush If you got a lot on it, and let that paste just kind of fall into it. And my paste is pretty runny. That way it soaks into the cotton, and it'll actually kind of soak through your cotton as well. Correct. Lupin, absolutely correct. The air is what gives you the thickness without giving you the weight. I'll try to keep up with you guys. Since we lost Carrie, she's not monitoring the questions, so um, as I do this, I'll try to turn and look and see who's talking and see who's asking questions. I hope I explained from the beginning that there's nothing easy about doing cotton balls. I may have forgot to tell you guys that. All right, I got one more big patch here to do. I want to do that. Once I get this big patch done, and then I'm going to go around and everywhere where I've got these gaps, I'm going to add another piece of cotton and another piece of, and bring those gaps kind of together. I'm still going to leave a small little sliver in between, but I'm going to close these gaps down so we don't have these just huge gaps in between, because a real pumpkin doesn't have big gaps like that. Yes, it does, Lupin. You're correct. You can blend quite a bit of it. Yeah, so Psycho, what I've done is basically when I run a ridge down, I had one single cotton ball running through here, and then I did, two more, so like three wide, and then I ran, then I have a little seam, and then I gap another one over the top of that, and gap another one over the top of that, and you could even do another one, just depending on how that stuff's playing out. You got a visual on your pumpkin as you're doing it. You watch that visual and how it's going, and go from there. But see, that's the thing too. I mean, look, the texture is super cool, right? Because that really does look This stuff looks like, you know, a pumpkin. Crap. Don't give up on it. It's the cotton ball is finicky. It just takes some practice. And once you get it, you'll get it. So keep up on it. If it needs rework a little bit, you know, you can let it even dry, right? Let it dry up and then come back and hit it again. Rework it with your ridges again after it dries up, right? The more you do it and you keep after it, you will eventually get it. And like I said, this technique is not like, it's not the easiest in the world, but it's pretty neat. I like it, and once you get it figured out, and once you get to where you feather this stuff, and you really kind of see how that cotton's working for you, you can make some really cool pumpkins that are lightweight, and they're actually really, really, really durable. Really durable. Sorry, guys, I got quiet again. I'm just looking at this, and what I'm going to do is get this last kind of big ridge spot put in, and then I'm going to stop for the night, and I'll explain to you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this stuff dry, and then I'm going to finish bringing these gaps together tomorrow, because I won't have a whole lot of time left. I know it's getting late. It's 8 o'clock my time, almost 9 o'clock. I haven't had dinner yet. I know Psycho, like he talked about, he's got some steaks he hasn't cooked yet. I'm sure some of you guys that have been doing this right along with me haven't ate yet either. And I tell you what, you guys that are actually building along with me, you guys are awesome. More than happy to have all you guys along and building along the way and asking questions and stuff. Like I said, I want to see your progress pictures through the week, man. That'd be great. See how they turn out. Don't get down on yourself. If you don't think it looks right, let it dry a little bit. Come back, Just change it up a little bit. If you stick with it, you can make it, you'll make it happen. You'll make it be what you want it to be. Yes, dude, I'm always rubbing my hands together to get the paste back off. Uh, so it's not sticking to my fingers. That's definitely one of the drawbacks is trying to keep your fingers dry enough and not sticky, so you're not pulling little cotton fibers out everywhere. That's where I say this technique's not going to be for. There's no way it's going to be for everybody because there are a lot of annoying little things about it too, with cotton balls sticking to you and different things like that. But man, it makes a cool pumpkin. It makes such a good texture. And that's kind of why, Carrie was asking earlier why we did this instead of clay, because I figured this would have once we got to this part, that this would have the most questions um, by people. Hey, Wayne, have a good night, man. Enjoy your holiday too, dude. Thanks for being here. Okay, let's put a deal there. Man, we had a rush of questions there for a bit. It was kind of fun. Everything died off again. I gotta figure out a way to be a little teeny tiny more entertaining for all you folks while we're doing all this stuff right here. I'm getting it all done. But it's, I'll not say this is not the most entertaining thing in the world. All right, here we go. Can you guys see? Blech. All right, I got one couple little pieces here. Then I'll show you an overall scope around this thing. And I'll explain to you what I plan on doing tomorrow. Which what I do tomorrow will be the last thing I really need to do to this, and then set and dry until next Saturday. So I literally won't do anything else to it. This is going to be a pretty decent place to stop. Okay. Let's talk about this for a minute. First off, those of you that are still here, you guys are freaking troopers, and you're awesome. Because I know there was a point in time where I'm busy concentrating and things just kind of get boring, and you guys are still here. Those of you guys that are building with me, you guys are awesome too. I really, really am glad you guys are building along. Trying to clean up a little bit of a mess here, and then I'll show you some things on this. Woo! I'm moving you guys everywhere. I'll show you guys some things on this, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. That way we'll be set up for next week, and I'll even post a picture this week of what I did. I'll probably post it tomorrow. A picture of what I did off camera out of the class. So, everything sticks to my fingers. On top here, Origins looking pretty good. I'll build some of these out a little bit wider even on top, and then I might take like one thin, very, very thin piece of cotton and come like in between these gaps to mold those gaps and pull those gaps in a little bit closer. But tomorrow, this will be my big concentration tomorrow. Here's the thing. These big, huge gaps like this, those don't look good, and that's not how a pumpkin looks. So tomorrow, this will be a little bit drier. I'll come in, and I'm probably going to add another cotton ball here. I'll add another cotton ball through here, and I'll bring this gap in, and I'm going to make this gap a lot smaller. And then if I've got a blend on top, I'll blend on top. But I'm going to go around the entire pumpkin, and I'm going to pull these until they're closer together. That way it's just a small little sliver, in between. All these gaps are too big. You don't see pumpkins that are spread out that much. So I'm just going to work this tomorrow. I'll add cotton balls on either side, widen each one of these ridges out, and then smooth everything in. It'll be a little bit easier tomorrow too as well, because this will be quite a bit drier, and it's going to be a lot stiffer. So whenever I'm coming into this, I'll be able to blend it easier because I can be a little more aggressive on it. But that's all I'm going to do. All I'm going to do is just bring these closer together, and that's it, to make it look more like a cohesive pumpkin. So not too bad. Yeah, 3 hours, guys. 3 hours and 23 minutes. I mean, that you're talking, this is real time. It's what it takes to do this stuff. I could go further on tonight and even fill these gaps in even closer, but I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm going to stop with it. And this thing's getting wonky on me, and I'm afraid I'm going to kind of mess some things up on it too. But we're a lot closer. I mean, that texture, dude, that's so, you don't get, you just don't get this type of texture with your clay. And when that pulls all in together, that's going to look like a real pumpkin. It's going to look real. So that's what's going to be cool. Then we'll put our faces on it. Boom. We'll start doing some details. It's going to be awesome. So next Saturday, we're doing this all again next Saturday. It's probably going to be strap in. It's probably going to be another long class. And for you that are watching this after the fact, I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of it's probably boring. This isn't great content for YouTube. But this isn't really an entertainment video. This is me trying to teach you how to do this junk. So next week, we're going to need more cotton balls. You're going to need mache paste. I really do recommend a Dremel tool to cut through this. As someone mentioned earlier, if you got some of those little knives that come in a pumpkin kit or whatever, I have cut this stuff up with that stuff before. It does work. So you're going to need something to cut faces and things like that. That way we can work everything open, because we'll cut the mouths and do all that stuff. That way we can bring some of the cotton in around and under those cuts so everything fleshes out and it looks like a pumpkin. When I do my pumpkins, a lot of times I don't want them to look like carved out jack-o'-lanterns. I want them to look like the pumpkin came alive type of thing. I do certain ones to make look like just a carved out jack-o'-lantern on purpose, but a lot of them I try to make them look like the pumpkin is alive and it's not a jack-o'-lantern, that someone carved. So next week, more cotton balls, mache paste, Sharpie, marker of some type, Dremel tool if you got it, something to cut the pumpkins out with. If your pumpkin looks like mine does right now, same thing. If you let it set and dry tomorrow, you need to pull these gaps in closer together too. We can't leave the pumpkin looking like this. These gaps got to come in. If you leave that looking like that, it's never going to look right. It's not going to look like a pumpkin. You're not going to be happy with it. So if you don't finish this tonight, bringing this stuff in, tomorrow, get it in or whatever. Now, try to do it tomorrow if you can. That way this thing has all week to set and dry. The drier it is next Saturday, the better off you're going to be working on your project. So thanks, all you guys that have been here and waited and done it, and I'm rambling on. Thanks for being here. It's kind of enjoyable to me. It's something I normally do. I hope you guys that are watching, I've learned something. I hope I've answered questions. Next week for you guys to come in, ask questions as many as you can. That's the purpose. That's what I'm here for. Thank you, Psycho. I appreciate that. Man, I'll see you guys next week. We get through this little class. We'll take a poll. If you guys want another class on whatever that is, we'll go from there. Maybe we'll do a whole different class on something completely different if you guys are enjoying it. So I'm out. I'm going to go get some food. I'll see you guys later.